Hello family and friends and fellow YouTubers, it's Kim here from Kim's Country Corner, and it is the last Sunday in April, and I'm getting ready to head down to my youngest daughter's in Columbia, and John's going to be taking me down. And I thought that before I leave I would do a quick walk around and just show you some of the things that have been happening here on the homestead for the last couple of weeks. I've been out here a couple of different times working, and I haven't always had the camcorder with me. One time I did have the camcorder and my grandkids were visiting, so you got to see that. But I thought today, while I was out, I would just do a real quick walk around. So let's go check out the homestead and see what's been going on. All right, here we go. So as you can see, my friend Paulo is still here waiting to go on this walk with me. Are you ready, Paulo? All right, let's go. I'm kind of shooting into the sun here a little bit. Good morning, ladies. So the chickens are out. That's right, Rocky. It is morning. We have a buff Orpington there, and we have a barred rock. And then we have a Rhode Island red. And we have a partridge rock. I'll come back and check for eggs in a little bit. So over here in these two garden boxes, we have started planting. We took off the plastic covers. We laid them over there to kill the grass over there because that's where we want to put the corn. And then in these two boxes here, we have some Detroit red beets in this box. And then we have two different kinds of radishes in this box. And because it is late April, it's a little bit cooler here in Missouri, but both of those are cool weather crops, so it's not going to do any harm for them to be out early. And then over here in these boxes that I had from last year, I put in some National Pickling cucumbers. It's a little bit early for them, but I'm hoping that we're going to have a warm spring, so I went ahead and put them in anyway. We had a really heavy rain yesterday, so we do have some standing water. These beds were covered up last fall in preparation for this spring. So hopefully we'll have tomatoes and green peppers and cucumbers and all sorts of things growing in there this year. I don't want to get the eggs just yet because I want to do the walk around first. So I'll give you a real quick look in the potting shed. As some of you might know, I had been working on it last year. I did get it cleaned out and painted. Got things kind of organized. That needs to be scraped down and painted. That's an old dry sink. These are some boxes that my girls had made when they were in 4-H for a woodworking project. I have my shelves back there with some of my pretty garden stuff. Got my baskets hanging up. Got hooks up to put them hanging. I got me these 2 great big commercial tubs that I'm going to use for my potting soils. I have some of my seeds laid out there from last year. Those are leftovers from last year. This year I will be doing mostly seedlings from Walmart again. Just don't have time to grow my own. I don't have room in town to grow my own seedlings, and I'm not out here at the homestead enough to take care of them. So this is what my potting shed, looks like right now. I'm hoping to be able to do some more work to it this summer, but for right now it's looking pretty good. See if I can give you guys an overview. John put a shelf up there for me. I have my work table, some shelving units. Yep. Have a potting bench out here that I can work at. Sorry about the shadows. It's very early in the morning. Probably about, I don't know, 7:30 or 8. I guess it's not real early, but it's about 7:30 or 8. So this is, you know, is my cottage garden. You've seen it before with the old pump. My plants are starting to come up nicely. Have some Asiatic lilies, bee balm, 2 different kinds of coneflowers. The coneflowers in the front are short coneflowers that will be a deep red. Coneflowers in the back are tall coneflowers that will be a deep red. So 2 different kinds of reds going on here. This is kind of a red garden. I have mostly reds in here because this is my hummingbird garden. The bee balm is a red. I have my hummingbird feeders out and ready to go. I have not seen a hummingbird yet, but I've been told that they're in Missouri and they should be up this way soon. Red daylilies coming in. And then on this side it's just a repeat. I have the short red coneflowers, the tall red coneflowers, the red bee balm, and then these are powwow wild berry coneflowers, and they're kind of a dark pink. My irises are leafing out nicely. Then down here at the end I have some daylilies. That is a weed. I don't know what kind of weed it is, but it's a big weed. This side I just kind of have our patio furniture sitting, waiting to be used. My hose. I know, Paulo. Yes. Let's go over here so we're not shooting into the sun when I show them the orchard. Okay, so there's our apple trees. John did some really heavy pruning this winter. I think he did a little bit too heavy. He thinks he did just right. We'll see. A little bit of debate about his pruning, but he got it done, so that's the main thing. They're leafing out very nicely. The flowerings are really pretty. Here's my boxwood. Alright, let's walk on over and look at the lilac bushes. They're coming into bloom. Look how big and beautiful that lilac bush is. It's just filled with purple flowers, very fragrant. Beautiful. I wish my video had smell-o-vision because it smells so good. Then this one here is always a little bit slower than that one, which is kind of nice because we get longer lasting blooms that way. But as you can see, that one's already popping out, and this one's still pretty well closed up. Probably within the week, though, they'll be opened as well. Then along the ditch here, I have some irises coming up nicely. John had gone through and mowed a little bit closer than he thought he was, and he chopped some of them off, but it looks like the leaves are starting to develop again, so we have new leaves coming in. And he was like, I just didn't realize I was that close, so I went ahead and put these little white fences up. There's some daylilies. Those are what we call ditch lilies. You see them growing naturally along ditches. In fact, these I transplanted from up the road along a ditch down to here. This lilac is going to have flowers this year. This one is not growing quite as readily as that one is, but it is still growing, so I haven't lost it or anything. It's just not quite as big, and it's going to have a few flowers this year. Here's some apple buds. This over here is a trumpet vine. It has not started leafing out yet, but if you look close, you can see that it does have some buds on it that will be coming out. So, just hasn't gotten there yet. Some are later bloomers than others. We did a heavy prune on this last fall. This is the, what is that called? Bride's Veil, I think, or something like that. It's an old bush, but it puts out beautiful white flowers. Mock oranges, we did a heavy prune on them year before last, so they're going to have some nice blooms, flowers coming in this year. Another mock orange. You can see the farmers have been out plowing up the land, getting ready for their spring planting. This bush, I don't know, guys. This is gonna have to be a wait and see. It kind of looks dead right now, but well, now wait a minute. I think I do see some buds. Looky there. The other day when I was out, it didn't even have those. So I don't know. This is going to have to be a wait and see. we finally got some work done on the gate garden. I put in some daylilies in the back, kind of as a base plant. And then in front, we have some sunflowers planted and some zinnias planted. But the daylilies are a perennial. They'll come back every year. I hope to eventually get more perennials put into these beds, but they're still a work in progress. So this year we went cheap. We went with roadside daylilies, the ditch daylilies, as a base in the back. And then in the front we have sunflowers and zinnias. And hopefully I'll be able to start incorporating more perennials into these beds as I get money. That's right, Paulo, gotta have money. So this will one day be a grape arbor, or at least I hope. That's what that's there for, is to eventually put grapes along. Then up here we had a difficult corner to mow in. So once more I took up some of those free ditch lilies and put in there. All of these ditch lilies I transplanted in one day, and I did not stop to videotape me doing that because it was a lot of hard work, but I wanted to get it done before the rains came in. So there was a tough corner, so it's now filled with daylilies. That should drown out the weeds, so John doesn't have to worry about mowing into that corner. We have some peonies coming up. I'm so happy with my peonies this year, because they finally look like they're going to have a pretty good stand. I'll tell you the story about the peonies here in just a second. That one needs to be weeded. And then over here in this corner was hard to mow into, and it was always just loaded with weeds. So I went in there and dug out that bed and put some of those ditch lilies. They're actually, what they are is they are orange tiger lilies that grow along the roads here in Missouri. And we call them ditch lilies because you find them in ditches, but they are actually orange tiger lilies. So that'll make a really pretty stand of lilies back in there, and John won't have to try to worry about getting a mower back in there. And eventually I want to put more gravel back here. So this, yeah, the south yard needs some work done to it, but you know, a little bit at a time. Do a little, do it often. Okay, so the story about the peonies is, this homestead's been in John's family for like 170 years now. And his mom had a really, really nice stand of peonies back here. All along there was just a hedge of red peonies. Well, in 2005, the old farmhouse burnt down. It used to sit right here where this one's at, but of course it was older and it burned. And when they tore it down, and then they had to come back in and extend the basement out to make this house fit, they had destroyed the peonies that were there. They didn't have a choice. They were just destroyed. And then after they got the basement filled in and or dug out and made, and the house moved on, and they put up a level of dirt to drain away, and the dirt of course was clay. It was like nothing was growing there. So I did my best to replant the hedge of peonies that Emma had along here at one time, but it's taking me forever to get them going. But this year I'm pretty proud of them. So after 5 years of trying, you can finally see that there is a stand of peonies in there. So, and I have these wire cages around them because the chickens will just, if they get out, they just dig up around manure like that. until they destroy the root system. All right. Okay friends, well that's it for this walk around. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to know more about what's going on in my corner of the world, please hit that subscribe button to Kim's Country Corner. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.